but they could not eliminate what you stood for. Your monument stands in the forecourt of the Supreme Court building as a constant reminder of the good qualities required of a judge. Permit me at this juncture to highlight a matter mentioned in the decision of Her Ladyship Justice Granting Addo in the case of the Republic versus Director of Prisons and another ex parte Shackleford, 1981 GLR, page 554. In her judgment, she observed at page 576 that people had used the AFRC era to settle old scores. This was the underlying reason for the British murders, which unfortunately have become a dark part of our national history. Bitterness, which gave rise to a vendetta, the consequences of which went very wrong. We should be careful as a nation not to go down the slippery slope of endless revenge by justifying various acts with the refrain, but others did that too. We then rose as a nation from the ashes like the phoenix and decided to conscientiously do better by making Ghana's democracy and penchant for the rule of law admirable and attractive to many worldwide. An independent judiciary, in its true sense, is a bulwark for all who seek justice and should be jealously protected. The judiciary's foremost attraction should be its glaring independent nature, credibility, and transparency, hence the provisions in our 1992 Constitution seeking to guarantee same. The Ghana Bar Association, as well as other legal associations, both local and international, such as the Commonwealth Lawyers Association, Commonwealth Magistrates and Judges Association, and Commonwealth Legal Education Association, as a matter of principle, have made their voices heard on the ongoing process for the removal of the Chief Justice of Ghana, Her Ladyship Justice Gertrude A.S. Tokono. It is hoped that any Superior Court judge will be well apprised of the entire process before ever being subjected to same in the spirit of fairness. Rising to the defense of the judiciary's independence is the mandate of the Ghana Bar Association, and this is not personality driven. On this day that we meet to honor the memory of the martyrs of the rule of law, let us resolve as a nation to do ourselves proud and humbly walk away from settling scores endlessly, as we are one nation with one destiny. The Ghana Bar Association reiterates its call to insulate the judiciary from any interference whatsoever. They stand for justice, and they should administer justice to all persons, including themselves. The spirit of reconciliation, all the various calls made for a reconsideration of the suspension of the Chief Justice in the circumstances as it sets a poor precedent will not go unheeded. We yearn for peace and strive for justice. As found in Micah chapter 6 verse 8, we were given an indication what ultimately pleases the Lord in the following words. And what does the Lord require of you? To act justly, love mercy, and walk humbly with your God. I repeat, to act justly, love mercy, and walk humbly with your God. May the rule of law reign supreme in our land. May God bless the administration of justice in our country. May God bless the judiciary. May God bless the government.
Well, it says the violation has not stopped, but have escalated beyond anything I could have imagined as possible injustice. This one she shouldn't have said because she has no evidence to back it. When it comes to Edu Lodge, where she alleges the...
He said he was her uncle. She stayed there for years, and it was a key, you know, one of the places that were prominent in the planning and the murder of
Still,
her
she
uncle.
has no evidence to back it. She has no evidence. In fact, why in the history of Ghana, which textbook, which law case has ever brought up the Edu Lodge as a place that was used to plan the execution of the judges? Completely, it's not backed by any evidence whatsoever. Again, if you knew, if the Chief Justice in her life, and she's not a young person, she's old enough, she's past 63 or so. So if a person like this, who was old enough in 1981, knew that there was a planning to murder judges at that place, and she took no step and had decided to sit back until today, then she's a very dangerous citizen of this country. Yes, very, very dangerous. You knew all these things when those culprits involved had at all material times denied. I didn't even know that her direct uncle, father's elder brother, was this man who betrayed Kwame Nkrumah, Dr. Alex Kwesi, who took money from the CIA, and he was the most trusted confidant of Nkrumah, and told Kwame Nkrumah that Nkrumah should travel, there would be no coup, because CIA had promised him to make him the next president of Ghana. That man's niece is this man. Until all this matter, I wouldn't have known. So she should not sleep in those lies. Whether she likes it or not, she will not be the Chief Justice of Ghana forever. She should understand that.
Honorable Afenyo Michael, how could you be opposed to Muslims? One additional holiday to Muslims and you are opposed? With this level of vehemence. And you have Muslims in your constituency who queue to vote for you. Please, please, withdraw your opposition to this bill. Please, withdraw your opposition to this bill. Withdraw your opposition to this bill. This bill is to fulfill the promise to Muslims.
Well, I said the violation has not stopped, but have escalated beyond anything I could have imagined as possible injustice. This one she shouldn't have said because she has no evidence to back it. When it comes to Edu Lodge, where she alleges the...
he said he was her uncle. She stayed there for years, and it was a key, you know, one of the places that were prominent in the planning and the murder of
Still,
her
she
uncle.
has no evidence to back it. She has no evidence. In fact, why in the history of Ghana, which textbook, which law case has ever brought up the Edu Lodge as a place that was used to plan the execution of the judges? Completely, it's not backed by any evidence whatsoever. Again, if you knew, if the Chief Justice in her life, and she's not a young person, she's old enough, she's past 63 or so. So if a person like this, who was old enough in 1981, knew that there was a planning to murder judges at that place, and she took no step and had decided to sit back until today, then she's a very dangerous citizen of this country. Yes, very, very dangerous. You knew all these things when those culprits involved had at all material times denied. I didn't even know that her direct uncle, father's elder brother, was this man who betrayed Kwame Nkrumah, Dr. Alex Kwesi, who took money from the CIA, and he was the most trusted confidant of Nkrumah, and told Kwame Nkrumah that Nkrumah should travel, there would be no coup, because CIA had promised him to make him the next president of Ghana. That man's niece is this man. Until all this matter, I wouldn't have known. So she should not sleep in those lies. Whether she likes it or not, she will not be the Chief Justice of Ghana forever. She should understand that.
Fellow Ghanaians, ladies and gentlemen, I'm happy to be here today to commission the renovated Edu Diplomatic Lodge, a facility that embodies the generosity, vision and patriotism of one of Ghana's finest sons, Mr. Amishadai Larson Edu, A.L. Edu, as he was popularly known. Today, as we reflect on this exceptional project, we celebrate not only the physical edifice before us, but also the values and legacy of a man who dedicated his life to public service and diplomacy. Mr. A.L. Edu's contributions to Ghana and the international community serve as an enduring reminder of what one individual, guided by a sense of duty and love for his or her nation, can achieve. Mr. A.L. Edu was a trailblazer, a man who walked with humility and yet left indelible footprints. His service to the nation is a reflection of his belief that diplomacy is not just a profession, but also a calling to bridge divides, foster understanding, and create lasting change. His work reminds us all of the power of service, and his life is an example for this and future generations of Ghanaians to emulate. Ladies and gentlemen, this lodge is a gateway to possibilities. It has been designed to accommodate Ghanaian and foreign diplomats alike. Please excuse me. That can shape the future of Ghana and indeed of the world. With its 15 presidential suites, advanced meeting facilities, and cutting-edge translation services, it stands as a beacon of Ghana's commitment to fostering collaboration and addressing global challenges. But beyond the bricks and mortar, this lodge carries a deeper significance. It is situated in an area rich with history and meaning. Nearby is the Osu Christiansborg Castle, which served as a fulcrum of Ghana's colonial struggle, and later for a time as the seat of national administration. Adjacent are landmarks like the Nationalism Park, where the events of the 28th February Crossroads shooting of 1948 that fueled our march toward independence are captured. The proposed Heroes Park, where historic Ghanaian personalities are to be immortalized, and the final resting places of two of our late leaders, Kwame Nkrumah and John Evans Atta Mills. Standing here.
Now the venue in question is the Edu Lodge. Yes, it is close to the Osu Castle, which used to be the former seat of government. As I speak, there are government agencies that operate there. So it is a public place. The Osu Castle is a public place. You can go there to conduct official government business. Beside it are private residences owned by Ghanaians who move freely in and out of their residence, even though they are situated very close to the Osu Castle. So the impression that a facility in the vicinity of the Osu Castle necessarily makes it intimidating or foreboding is completely misplaced. It is unfair. It is not justifiable. Now, Edu Lodge is a state facility which is often used to house high-ranking officials who visit the Republic of Ghana. It belongs to the state. The decision to use that place was not that of government or President Mahama. The committee requested that they needed facilities of a certain status that could house their activities and that could facilitate a smooth running of the proceedings. And that facility was available. It is equipped with modern amenities that will facilitate the work of the committee. And the state only offered it upon the request of the committee. Let me also state that that facility is not intimidating. It is like any regular state facility where business can be conducted to the extent that it is put in the right shape. Wherever these proceedings were held, it will still be in camera, as clearly stipulated in Article 1468 of the 1992 Constitution.
It was his intellectual might. He prepared himself. He prepared himself. He read voraciously. His late son, Professor Francis Nkrumah, Emeritus Professor Francis Nkrumah, said that when he came back from Berlin, he did medicine in Berlin, and when he came back, he used to play tennis with his father every morning. All right? his father would give him a book, and by the next morning, his father would want to sit him down and discuss the book. Meanwhile, he got the book the day before, he's read it, he's giving it to him. And he did that for even the young men that he worked with, R.S. Amagashi, J.H. Frimpong, J.H. Mensah, and K.B. Asante. He went through that vigor with all of them. His intellectual capacity amazed everybody. And if you're a genuine person, you appreciate somebody's intellectual might and intellectual capacity. And all those people who looked at Nkrumah with awe were genuine people. Those who are not genuine do not care a hoot about your intellectual capacity, because they will not even aspire to gain that intellectual capacity. You understand? Yes. So it is a person, genuine human beings appreciating somebody, looking at somebody in awe and saying, my word, what a man, what a man. And every sphere of endeavor, the man could hold his own. That was the length and breadth and depth of that man's intellectual power. And you couldn't help if you were a genuine person. And I use that phraseology. If you were a genuine person, you couldn't help but appreciate him.
My brother, my respected minority leader, the former majority leader, who has led our friends to that side, has been talking a lot lately. We've been indulging him because we understand this difficult transition. And we believe that we should allow him to basically bring out all the pains of losing. But we want to remind him that his responsibility is to ensure that the business of this house flows. We are working on votes and proceedings, and he's expected to make brief comments if he has to. We are not debating, we are not in periods of statements. And so, my respected colleague, please help us in an orderly manner to do the business of government, because frankly, we are going to ensure that the business of government is executed without constant interruptions, and we expect you to be productive. We expect you to cooperate as we did to ensure that government business is done. For now, we are indulging you because we know the painful transition you are going through. I thank you.
Before answering his question, preceded it with a statement, which statement has gained national prominence. That has to do with teachers who picketed at the ministry and were manhandled. And in fact, the media is reporting that one of them died as a result of the situation. Mr. Speaker, it's despicable lies that someone died. I challenge him to produce any dead body that he may have in his possession or the possession of any person. It's despicable lies. Nothing of that sort happened. There was no injury, no hurt. Mr. Speaker, this morning, even before coming to this house, I met with the president of the petitioners by name Dafur Eric, and their concerns noted as follows. Despite having received our appointment letters and fulfilling all professional administrative obligations, including assuming our respective posts and performing our duties diligently, a significant number of us have still not been issued staff identification numbers. Their main concerns. I assured him that it will be addressed as soon as the Minister for Finance issues financial clearance. We intend to recruit as many as 50,000 teachers, which was provided for in the 2025 budget statement of the Honorable Minister for Finance. So,
when when I want to explain it, my head will be headache me. Yeah.
Government is broke, government is broke. The people are spending billions to go inside the government that is broke. Have you ever seen a minister who resigned because government is broke before? Government has no money. Have you ever seen a governor who said, ladies and gentlemen, when I was elected, I thought the government had money. Now I discover government has no money, I resign. Have you ever seen it? Government has no money, but they are bringing money out at election time. Where is that money coming from? So they are lying. What is happening is that there are two types of wicked people in government. Type 1, they eat current money. Any money they find in government, they will eat it. They are wicked about that one. There is type 2. Type 2, they eat current money and future money. They will say, my term will end next year. When I leave, how will I eat money? Let me borrow money now and borrow money of the future and eat it now. Government is broke, government is broke. The people are spending billions to go inside the government that is broke. Have you ever seen a minister who resigned because government is broke before? Government has no money. Have you ever seen a governor who said, ladies and gentlemen, when I was elected, I thought the government had money. Now I discover government has no money, I resign. Have you ever seen it? Government has no money, but they are bringing money out at election time. Where is that money coming from? So they are lying. What is happening is that there are two types of wicked people in government. Type 1, they eat current money. Any money they find in government, they will eat it. They are wicked about that one. There is type 2. Type 2, they eat current money and future money. They will say, my term will end next year. When I leave, how will I eat money? Let me borrow money now and borrow money of the future and eat it now. Government is broke, government is broke. The people are spending billions to go inside the government that is broke. Have you ever seen a minister who resigned because government is broke before? Government has no money. Have you ever seen a governor who said, ladies and gentlemen, when I was elected, I thought the government had money. Now I discover government has no money, I resign. Have you ever seen it? Government has no money, but they are bringing money out at election time. Where is that money coming from? So they are lying. What is happening is that there are two types of wicked people in government. Type 1, they eat current money. Any money they find in government, they will eat it. They are wicked about that one. There is type 2. Type 2, they eat current money and future money. They will say, my term will end next year. When I leave, how will I eat money? Let me borrow money now and borrow money of the future and eat it now.
All right, a very good morning to you. Welcome to the program. It's Good Morning Ghana. And as always, by the directive principles of state policy, we have the opportunity to meet every morning to discuss the matters of the country. And today is the 7th of July, 2025. Thank God for this day. We'll go through the headlines and then later with the guests on the show. Okay, so let's start giving you the headlines. I start off with the Daily Graphic as usual. And Daily Graphic says that Zoomlion sets foot in Kenya. Congratulations on this feat again. Implementing no-fee stress, 15,000 free fresh students reimbursed. President Mahama launches policy. Ebang Akumang oil blocked declared commercially viable. And then we also have 24-hour initiative competitive tool. Henry Osei, 24-hour economic competitive tool. Henry Osei Akoto. Ghanaian Times, stop work. Minerals Commission grants Health Goldfield 45 days to rectify breaches. Stop work. Minerals Commission grants Health Goldfields 45 days to rectify breaches. No free SHS stress launch. 15,000 students benefit so far. Zoomlion forges strategic partnership in Kenya. Will dispense justice without fear or favor, new Supreme Court judges affirm. HWCIM founder Agrada caged 15 years by court. Daily Guide. Brian Achampon's popularity surges. Agrada's 15-year jail term causes stir. Ken leads MPP flag bearer race with 51.4% survey. Wow. Ablekuma North Parliamentary MPP rejects EC's Rerun. Edu Lodge loses national security account flight. The New Crusading Guide. Brian Achampon's campaign picks up steam fast. Kwamiga Atokple intervenes with 60,000 Ghana cedis water project for whole residents. Investor Dr. Rudy Mua endorses Ghana as Africa's top business destination. EC sets July 11 for Ablekuma North Parliamentary Rerun. Health Minister donates motorcycles, incubators to Joaboso Health Directorate. That's his constituency. Honorable Health Minister. Asin Central NDC Executive remanded over press conference against chairman. Asin Central NDC Executive remanded over press conference against chairman. And then the top right corner of the New Crusading Guide, the 24-hour economy policy is nothing but a replication of previous policies. The insight. Police declare war on land guards as 10 arrested at Ashongmang, sparking jubilation among residents. Ghana's future lies in domestic mobilization accountability, VEAP. 65 years on, jointly opening a new chapter of China-Ghana friendly cooperation in new era of diplomatic relations. Businessman arrested in alleged land fraud. Health Minister donates 10 motorcycles, 5 incubators to Joaboso District Hospital. The Herald. Mahama finds solution for Akufo-Addo's $400 million National Cathedral hole. Government shuts down health goldfields operations at Bogoso Prestia mines, cites safety and regulatory breaches. Cocoa Board adopts new performance framework. NACOC busts huge cannabis at Kotoka Airport. Presidential pardon call for wheelchair-bound Ato ASEAN intensify. Presidential pardon call for wheelchair-bound Ato ASEAN intensify amid deteriorating health. The Inquisitor revealed why OSP fired DSO BNI records out. Balanced scorecard for Cocoa Board staff. Look into 2024 electoral violence with speed, Mahama to IGP. Look into 2024 electoral violence with speed. NACOC intercepts UK-bound ganja at Swissport Terminal. The Informer, education must not be rationed. Mahama declares as he launches no fee stress policy. Dismissal rooted in past misconduct. OSP clarifies sacking of former DSO. Don't create authority for 24-hour economy. Varsity Dawn cautions government. Ablekuma North election rerun. EC afraid of NDC. Kofi Benso. NLA intensifies support for good cause. Zoom Lion deepens partnership with Kenya. The Daily Statesman. Bamba some petitions. Acting Chief Justice over bias of judicial system. Zoom Lion Kenya seal sanitation partnership deal. Azuma Resources EMP has not bought black voter gold mine. Backdoor political interference threatens democracy. NPP cautions EC over Ablekuma Rerun. Brian gains more ground in NPP flag bearer race. The Ghanaian publisher. Zoom Lion secures major deal in Kenya. U.S. investor Rudy Moyes backs Ghana for business. Reku accusing me falsely on ECG losses. Afenyo marking. Baba Sam seeks CJ's help in custody disputes. The custodian. You can't blame me for ECG's woes. Afenyo marking slams Reku. Zoom Lion clinches strategic business deal in Kenya. Ghana-India ties deepened. Minority laws. Prime Minister Modi's historic visit. Baba Sam petitions acting CJ over judicial bias. The Economy Times. Ghana plans resumption of issuing CD bond from September. Analysts predict single-digit inflation by third quarter amidst threat from utilities price hike. Government to receive $370 million from IMF, optimistic of board approval. The Business and Financial Times. President of Pure Earth will lead high-level delegation. Zoom Lion deepens Africa expansion with strategic partnership in Kenya. $1.17 billion in Eurobond coupons paid since debt deal. Fulfill second coupon of $349.5 million US for 2025. ICE $1.4 billion US due in 2026. And in the news again, we have AFDB, government signs landmark deal to develop Volta Economic Corridor. Okay, that's all. The back page of the Business Financial Times says that a government treatment of Zoom Lion threatens investor confidence. UPSA lecturer warns. Consumer electronics, well, government says it will not renew the contract. But that doesn't stop Zoom Lion from bidding for the contract again, should the bidding actually be opened. Or should a bid be opened? And so I think Zoom Lion still has an opportunity. It's not like, I mean, every company has opportunities. And there are people who are complaining that Zoom Lion has a monopoly, is operating like a monopolistic, company. I don't think that's the situation. It's about capacity and where we are as a country. So if Zoom Lion Zoom Lion is doing bigger things than just sweeping the streets or collecting rubbish, right? It is really sets up big industrial systems that are used to even recycle waste. So it's doing way bigger things, and that's why it's had the opportunity to go into other countries as well. So if Ghana deems it necessary to engage Zoom Lion, of course, why not? If it also thinks that Zoom Lion, or the government also thinks that Zoom Lion is not capable of doing the work that we require a government to do in keeping the public safety and health, then it can also choose to give the opportunity to other companies, you know, to come on board. I don't think it's a bad thing. So, I mean, let's see. The mix is a lot. So let's see how that goes. But Consumer Electronics Importers Visit Energy Commission. That's also at the back page of BNFT. We'll take a breather. Be back shortly.
Sometimes the unexpected happens and the hero falls down in his own story. But he needs not stay down for long. Cosmopolitan Health Insurance is your trusted health partner. Whether an individual building a business, with Cosmopolitan Health Insurance, your medical care is our concern. For the best health insurance solutions for corporate institutions, groups and associations, families and individuals, choose Cosmopolitan Health Insurance from our over 700 accredited health service providers nationwide. Call us on 0302 540 668 or 0501 678 547 for all your health insurance solutions. Cosmopolitan Health Insurance, your medical care is our concern.
I'm here at Mycom JA Limited to show you the Promethean Active Panel, the ultimate tool for corporate institutions, hospitals, schools, and your home. With it, crystal clear 4K display and an unbreakable screen with an ultra responsive touch technology. This isn't just a screen, it's a game changer. For corporate institutions and in schools, this active panel can be used for Zoom meetings and PowerPoint presentation. And your homes are not left behind. You can use it to watch all your favorite programs by just connecting to a Fire Stick, and you can get access to channels like Netflix and Amazon, and voila, you are in there. At Mycom JA Limited, we provide you with the best quality products from the United States of America with 1-year warranty. You can get an...
I'm a branch manager. Of course, I accept only quality and affordable printed souvenirs for my promotional campaigns.
I'm the head of academic affairs of a very important institution in Ghana. Of course, we only deal with quality, reliable printing companies for our institution's printing materials. I'm talking about appointed time printing.
Appointed Time Printings. We take pride in our extensive print scope that transform your ideas into captivating visual masterpieces. We delve into the core objectives and vision of each print project. Precision printing is at the heart of our printing process as we meet your tight deadlines. Our rigorous inspection, color verification, and overall printing excellence are assured. 20 years of printing excellence. It's always a pleasure working with you to create a vibrant, dazzling printing experience that gives you a masterpiece. Appointed Time Printing, your world of quality and affordable printing.
Brush, 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 brush your teeth. Brush, 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 2 times a day. Brush with Kel-Kit.
Hello, my friends. My name is Kel-Kit's toothpaste.
Wow.
I was made to be gentle on your gum, but protected. I will protect your teeth from cavity, make your teeth whiter, stronger, keep your mouth fresh all day. And best of all, I'm strawberry flavored. So put on a smile and try me.
That's amazing.
Just try me. That's my job.
If you say so, jump on my brush. Makes your teeth stronger, chicky chicky whiter, chicky chicky stronger. Yay! You did it!
I'm glad you like your new toothpaste. Don't forget to brush both day and night.
Kel-Kits. Happy smile.
Are you a headmaster, headmistress, parent, teacher, or an educator looking for high-quality textbooks for preschool, primary, and junior high school students, look no further than Advocate Publishing Company. Advocate Publishing Company is a leading publisher of educational materials in Ghana that publishes very engaging, interactive, and comprehensive textbooks that meet the needs of students, teachers, and parents. Our textbooks are thoroughly published to make learning fun and easy. They are also designed to stimulate critical thinking, problem solving, and creativity in students. Make Advocate Publishing your preferred choice for all your educational needs. Explore our range of textbooks and educational resources. Visit us at the old GNTC yard near Kingsway, Accra. You can contact us on 0503 786 776 or 02408 06354, also 0531 600360, and connect with us on Instagram, X, and Facebook at Advo Publishing. Don't settle for less. Choose the best. Advocate Publishing Company, empowering young minds one textbook at a time. Thinking publishing, think Advocate Publishing.
Try this ikaba me. Mami yacho.
So this bro is there.
Mami intro. When the biggest enemy of this fight, Sika.
Who could be bribe?
Me ama di omo amba meni ba me boys ni di omo de Sika. Omo se ne go bag. Emra no mu yi chana for ne fidi afin rem ho.
Okay.
Omo de to amu rem ho.
Omo de skare to amu.
Se me ko ho me ni omo nyina me ni omo make sure se baby excavator bi wo bia.
Okay.
Ne decide se betwe ni nyina akọ. Police station. Enti ye wie na engineers ye ho adwuma me ko gina school nanim. Wo mo se wo mo ba ho. Sem so mo tete. Wo mo de bargain by say wo mo ani wo mo nka. Na nka wo mo njai excavate sa machine.
Okay.
Eno mso ka cho mo so ye madam e wo school nanim ntuti me ko koshia. Hoko wi na de mu aya abreye. Obviously mo mba. De mo ye ne so bon so mo de kasa kese egina kwan ho. Kasa kese egina kwan ho. Womo de hwahwane betimi ayede bribe no enti
how much they wanted to bribe
no my guys will not even engage in the how much omunye usuru na nkomo no di two sentences so hutimechi. How will you come and justify to me saying you are only curious? No, you are interested.
When you ask for how much?
Why will you ask for how much? Let's just say we show interest.
Maybe to ascertain some pampas.
So, from everything we are seeing here, today we came for 15 excavators. And we carried all the excavators. But from every indication, those who have destroyed this area, just like the other areas, the environmental terrorists, they are terrorizing the environment. They are terrorizing everything that has to do with the ecosystem. And as environmental terrorists, we have to face them as such. This is not for anybody. And again, they are blaming government that we don't come to their aid. They are helpless because these people are armed. And these are communities that President Mahama wants to develop through Mineral Development Fund. How do you talk about agriculture when the agricultural land is destroyed? How do you talk about education when the water source that they have has been contaminated, diverted, and it doesn't exist? How do you talk about any form of development when the very ground where their houses are situated have been mined and they live in fear? I want all of us to understand that is my duty, is your duty, is our duty to say no to illegal mining and to say no to the environmental terrorists and to say yes to the call to put an end to all these illegalities and to say yes to the polluter pay principle. You pollute, you pay. Thank you. Come on, let's hurry. And the cocoa farms have been destroyed by the Chinese. Come here. Hey, come catch some corner. Oh, they were here. No, they were here. Hey, Tana, why your people, you not bring your people, you get plenty problems.
No more. It means they were here. They just
left. They were here. They just left. And now, Mommy and Tamian Kwansan and Shun. Fast. Me patch on Momunya. Or share Ramuho, Bakuna share.
Yeah.
All right, you're welcome back to the program. We're on Good Morning Ghana, and a lot of people have, interesting comments about Dr. Hanabisu and her actions in the forest. But I think it's fine, isn't it? I mean, we've moved from the days where you sit in your office and, do armchair ministerial work or some head of institution work. It's about time people just move into the field, and I think it's okay. It's not you who's it. She's the one sacrificing her life for it, so it's fine. Allow her. Anyway, you're welcome back once again. Let me officially welcome Professor Benedicta Yaira Fosu-Mensah into the studio. She is a lecturer and also a member of the NDC, and she heads the Institute of Environment and Institute for Environment and Sanitation at the University of Ghana. Thank you for coming. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you too?
I'm fine, thank you.
Great.
All right.
Good to see you.
So let me just do a quick one. Yes, last week there was the story. Did it break last week? I think one of the journalists did a research.
I did last week.
And it was published. She's a member of your what's it called? Your team, I will say.
Oh, not really. Okay.
So this is what happened. The research about the galamsey and the food contamination. We've been talking about it for years now. I remember when Dr. Randy was on the show, there was one time we had an interview with Professor Sampene. Professor Sampene is also a scientist. And he also helped with some revelations, especially when the news of children being born with deformities, babies being born with deformities and all came. And apparently, he had made as much noise as he could, and nothing was happening for him, nothing was happening. So he has actually migrated from the country.
Wow.
Yes. He's left the country with his family, his children, everybody. Because, as we say, our life directly depends on this situation. So I'm just wondering what this government will be doing as far as the issue of galamsey is concerned. And that research of food contamination, the recent one, there's been many reports, but the recent ones that lead and other heavy metals were found in cassava, pepper, cocoyam and things. Yes, the research was done within the Etiwa East constituency.
Etiwa West.
Etiwa West rather. Etiwa West constituency. Okay. So it was the reason I decided that let me call her so that she will do us the honest by letting us understand better what we don't know. That's not our field. So she will help us understand. So, Prof, you're welcome once again. Thank you for agreeing to my call. Right. So let's zoom straight into it's galamsey, definitely. What is this research all about?
Okay, good morning, Annie, once again, and good morning to our cherished viewers. I think I would want to clarify this whole research. So this current research, I think what happened, the results that was released last week, apparently was a follow-up research on an earlier discussion. One of my PhD students worked in Ebuakwa think, Ebokwa South on this issue of galamsey and its impact on the environment.
Oh, okay, so she's your PhD student?
Yes.
At the University of Ghana?
Not she. So I said this last week's results was a follow-up on an earlier research.
Ah, okay, by a PhD student.
Yes, the earlier research was my PhD student who worked on food contamination and then the environment as far as illegal mining was concerned. And his results shows that almost all the food samples that
were collected
were all contaminated. And we did a further analysis to look at the contamination level, whether it's within permissible limits. Normally, the soil generally contains some amount of elements, some of which can be classified as heavy metals. But within certain limits, it's permissible, you know, but it is above certain limits that becomes toxic to man. And so when we did the analysis, we probed further to look at the health risk. If they are contaminants, are they within the safe threshold where if you consumed, you would not be at risk health-wise? And it shows that the results were far above the permissible limit. So the permissible limit, it should be 1 or below 1. But if it is below 1...
1 or below 1 of what? What measurement?
It's an index.
Index, okay.
Yes, so health risk index. If it is 1 and below, then you are within a safe range. But this student research shows that the index was around 11, which is about 1,000% higher than the permissible limit.
Yes.
So we had a discussion on TV3 on this, and then I presented the results. So these last week results apparently was a sample that was brought into our laboratory, that's ecological laboratory of Institute for Environment and Sanitation Studies, by a journalist. That's agenda host. She says she was within the eastern region, and then she just decided to do some sampling. So she actually did the sampling, and then brought the samples to the laboratory to really see, just to confirm, you know, what people are saying, that our food are contaminated and so on and so forth. So she brought the sample, and then we did the analysis, and then we interpreted the results to her. And when we did the analysis, I think she brought pepper samples.
So the food samples were brought to your lab?
To our lab, yes. So we had pepper, we had kotombre, cassava, cocoa, and then plantain. I don't know
this is Eastern region?
This is Eastern region. And then when we analyzed, we realized that all the samples had lead above the permissible limit. When we did the health risk, it shows that, yes, all these samples were contaminated with some heavy metals that are above the permissible limit. And that is why I always keep saying that this is a national disaster. It is just a slow killer. We are killing ourselves, or we are poisoning ourselves slowly.
So,
and that is why this issue of illegal mining, we've talked about it, I think almost 2-3 years now, if not 4 or more years. But it seems the rate at which we want to see a cease in this activity is not really moving the way we expect. And sometimes I get worried as an individual, because it looks like somebody is robbing you. Somebody is robbing your life, and we are all just sitting and watching. We just saw a video where foreigners come to our land and pollute with so much impunity, and we just sit and watch. Sadly enough, there are some Ghanaians that are frontiering for these foreign nationals, and I ask myself, if these people really have conscience, if they really understand the implications of their activity. Because look, there are times the economic or the environmental cost is far more than the economic benefit. And this benefit we are talking about, it's just to a few individuals. Like you just mentioned, you said Dr. Sampeni, who have left the country. There are some individuals here who think that, well, I will drink sachet water, I'll use sachet water to cook. But I keep on telling them that you cannot escape these disasters that await all of us, because you go to conference, you attend workshop, you once a while walk to restaurants and eat. These places, do they use sachet water or bottled water to cook for you? Even, I'm not too sure that even this individual who indicate that they use sachet or they use bottled water to cook, if they use the same water to wash their plates, or they use the same water to bath, because you can't be exposed to these heavy metals, even just by bathing contaminated water. And that is why this issue of contamination and the level of destruction to our environment with so much impunity is like we've been robbed our life. And so everybody needs to be worried as far as this illegal mining is concerned. And especially we have, I always say illegal mining or galamsey have been with us, if not more than 100 years. But at the level of destruction to our environment is something recent. And it's recent because this is just the time people started bringing in excavators. These excavators are not brought in by the people in the pit doing the mining. They are brought in by people who are financiers of these illegal activities.
So I can tell you that the talk about, galamsey, as far as my memory serves me right, there are videos of Rollins who said something about galamsey, how our own people were conniving with foreigners and trying, maybe the team can get me the video, trying to make money by selling our gold to people. Then came Mills, who also talked about how he was seeing water bodies being destroyed because there were many reports that we filed as news people, and it got to him that water bodies were being destroyed. In fact, I think that was when we started using the champagne in the river bodies. Then we elevated the activities by bringing in huge excavators. Now the excavators are not just for the big companies Ghana has signed contracts with. They are just for
individuals,
proper galamsey people who have now destroyed cocoa farms, coffee farms, everything, water bodies. Now the sea is affected. So the thing spans all the way back, 50 years, 20 years, 30 years ago. Yeah. It was gradual. We have now seen that we're introducing chemicals, hard chemicals, as we're saying, lead and other metallic chemicals in what we are reporting today. So I just tried to see the permissible limits that you're talking about. It says that the permissible limits of lead contamination in food vary depending on the type of food. If you can explain that to me. But generally fall within the range of 0.1 to 2.0 mg or kg or ppm. For example, edible oils may have a limit of 0.1 mg or kg, while cereals, fruits, and vegetables may have 2.0 mg or kg. So do we have some types of food that the contamination levels may not affect us so much, or we don't have a choice? Because it looks like almost all the food samples you collected or people have collected are all above 2.0 or 1.0.
Now there are standards. Normally, water for drinking have standards within which we say it is safe. Water for irrigation will have standards within which it is safe, which means that the standards may vary depending on the use. But standards are not depending on the type of food, which means that if you are eating orange and the orange contains 0.2, though 0.2 is higher than the permissible limit, but because it is orange, it is okay. And if it is contemporary, it should be 0.1. No. Food in general should contain some or have a constant standard, a level that within which we say it is okay. So, for example, the WHO limit for lead is 0.3. And then the EU limit is between 0.1 and 0.3. So which means that if you sample food or if you do analysis.
This is food sample or water?
Food sample.
Okay.
And lead content or the lead level is 0.3. We say it is within a permissible limit. Why it is within a permissible limit is because naturally the soil in which we cultivate our crops contains some elements, and some of these elements are those we have classified as heavy metals. So we say that if it is within this range, it is safe. Standards.
So, I'm sorry, Tim, if you can give me, a picture of lead, just so people have an idea of what we're talking about. Because we might be saying lead, or heavy metals, and people just don't get it. So you want to see exactly how lead looks like in its raw form, maybe, or other heavy chemicals. Look, please, Prof, go on.
Yes, so we are saying that every food have standard, or everything has standard.
So that's how lead looks like.
Just
correct
like,
us.
Yes, just like even electronics, they have standards. Water for drinking has standards. Food has standards for some element within which we say it is safe. So it is when it is above this limit, that is when we say it is not safe. And when we talk about health risk, what health risks, we are looking at your exposure, at which we say that you are at risk. You are at risk of being maybe showing symptoms of exposure. So your daily consumption, if you eat contemporary, let's say from Etiwa West, on daily basis, it means you are bioaccumulating these heavy metals. And you are accumulating, and the heavy metals are not just like lead, they also contain other
chemicals,
other elements. So maybe small lead, small mercury, small cadmium, small iron. When you add all these, then you are at risk.
But we need iron in our bodies.
We need iron. But we also have what we call iron toxicity. That's why I'm saying that these metals are within the soil system. There are certain levels we say they are safe. Metals are good for us. Metals are good for crop production. But beyond certain level, we have what we call toxicity, iron toxicity. So these are the levels we are saying that we are at risk because the level or the concentration within the soil are far above the permissible limit. They are far above what our body needs. And so when you consume them, especially if you consume them on a daily basis, then you are bioaccumulating. Bioaccumulating because these metals are not something that when you just eat, you dispose of them or they break down and then go. No, they get into our tissues. And then also hospital shows or further medical research shows that we could even have gene mutation as a result of exposure to these contaminants. Hospitals have already, published results that shows that we are having malformation of children. We are having, mental disorder as a result of exposure.
Sorry, this picture. Because I was going to ask you how they use it in this Galamsey activities. Yeah. What's he doing in this picture?
So this picture, the gentleman is just trying to, normally what they do is that they use their mercury to mix with the soil in order to extract the gold. So this guy from the picture, I guess he's just trying to collect maybe the extra leftover of the mercury to use for other
refining of
samples. Yes, because you can see that the mercury is mixed with sand. I can see some sand particles in the sample, and then he's trying to sieve some liquid, which is the mercury. So I guess he's just taking the excess mercury in order to use for other samples that he has to extract gold from. So sometimes in the process of washing or pouring, some of these things pour into the water body or into the soil. And when it rains, runoff carry these contaminants to other fields. That's why I'm saying that contamination may not just be at the point or the source of usage, but it goes far and wide, because we have runoff when it rains, especially when the activity is carried on a sloping landscape. Then when it rains, it washes down to the field or to the agricultural field. And crops do not do selective uptake of nutrients. They select everything that they found, including heavy metals. And when we consume, I mean, these things are, attached to the tissue of these crops. And as we eat them, we bioaccumulate them. Yeah, so you can see what a gentleman is trying to do is mix the gold and mercury and trying to extract gold.
So they melt the metals.
Yes, so in trying to refine the gold.
Or when they buy the heavy metals, it comes in a liquid form.
Mercury is in liquid form. So
and
when
then
they
the
mix
lead,
it,
how about lead?
Lead also comes some in mercury in
solid,
in a liquid form. And so when they, at the process of refining, they mix it like the mercury, they mix it, like the gold gets attached to it, and then it's like it coagulates, something like comes together, because they have mixed it. And then they then use fire to refine it. So during even flaming the gold and then the mercury, mix to get the mercury out, at that process, they themselves expose themselves because the mercury evaporates, they inhale it. The people within the neighborhood also inhale this mercury, and they are all, impacted one way or the other.
Is it strong scented?
I've never used it, so
So those who use it in factories, do they have a way of protecting themselves?
Oh yes,
from inhaling it?
Yes, normally you are supposed to have PPE. That's a personal protective equipment in using these chemicals, because some of them have the potential to evaporate. Okay. And so you can easily inhale it. So you are expected to wear masks, to wear something, gloves, to protect yourself. But these individuals, they do not do any of those things. In fact, I've watched a video where these individuals say that even though they know they have polluted the water, but they drink from that same source, because where they are deep in the forest somewhere where there's no water. So the water in which they pollute, they still drink it. And I saw the gentleman just went and fetched the tepid water with chemicals on the surface and drank it. I said they are fine. I mean, for them, it's not a big deal. But you see, this whole episode is because it's a slow killer. You will not just die immediately you drink it. Just like the young man who drank the water and felt it was okay because they drank it 1 month, 2 months, there's nothing. But it is prolonged or later in life, that is where the symptoms begin to show up. When you start having kidney failure, when you start having liver problem, when you start having heart problem. And it shows that women within these areas are giving birth to children with some deformity, children with either mental problem. They are not able to coordinate.
There hasn't been any scientific proof that these children with deformities are directly linked to galamsey activities.
So many publications, so many health, or do I say medical publications that shows that there is a direct relationship between exposure to these heavy metals and some symptoms in terms of
childbirth,
respiratory disorder, in terms of liver problem
and kidney
problem. There are so many publications out there. In fact, scientific, well-researched results that shows that there is a direct relationship. Let nobody dispute the fact that this mining activity, especially illegal mining and contamination or destruction of our environment, has no direct or scientific proof of its impact on our health. There are a lot of, I remember very well, there was this professor at KNUST, I've just forgotten his name, who did a lot of research on that, where he said a baby was born with deformity and a baby died during birth. So they kept the fetus and tried to do a further analysis. And the placenta shows high level of this heavy metal, lead and I think mercury or so. That shows that the mother at that time was exposed to these contaminants. And so the placenta that was then giving nutrients to the child, you know, these contaminants was transferred to the child. And so when they did, they analyzed the placenta, there was a lot of heavy metals in these in the placenta, and that is enough evidence to show that there is a direct relationship between exposure to these heavy metals and also deformity in terms of babies being deformed, in terms of baby being being born with some abnormality, their cognitive response or their ability to concentrate is also affected. And even in us, we also have effects, though we are adults. I'm sure even in terms of even gene mutation, where our gene is changed because of this exposure, and that is normally expressed in our offspring. So if we are not careful, you know, future generation, we are going to get a lot of babies born with a lot of deformity because people have been exposed to these contaminants for a very long time, and their gene might be mutated, and this is passed on to their children, or they themselves in their lifetime may have kidney, liver, or even heart problems. So this issue of pollution to our environment is robbery of our life, our very existence. And it looks like the issue is not being...
So this is a video from a Galamsey site.
Okay.
Where a family or a household wants clean water to use. So they've gone to buy alum. You know alum, right?
Yeah.
And they use it to purify the water, just to make it, not purify it, but to clarify
the
turbidity levels. So that's the alum she's putting in the water. Then after they have a clear water, as water should appear, they think they have clean water. Tell me about alum.
You see,
and using it this way.
Yes. Honestly, when I watch this, I get goose pimples. I feel like shedding tears because it's like you are just killing innocent people, and that is what is happening. Honestly, it's like we are killing ourselves gradually. We seem not to understand the level of, I don't know, robbery of our life as a result of this activity. Now, this woman and this family may think that by putting alum, they are having clean water to drink. But look, alum is not able to remove heavy metals. Even Ghana Water Company, that does a lot of research, they are not able to remove heavy metals from their water. And so they are able to maybe remove reduce the turbidity level within the permissible limit, or reduce the level of maybe fecal matter in the water. But for heavy metals, they do not have the equipment or the capacity to remove. And so is this woman. So she, yes, the water, the top looks clean. She sips it and drinks. And for her, she's drinking clean water. But hey, what she has just done is to reduce the level of mud or the turbidity level of the water. But if there's any contaminant like mercury, like lead or cadmium, that is still there. And so is Ghana Water Company. If lead is in the water and they analyze it, or they treat the water, they are not able to remove this. And that is why people are like, hey, I cannot drink pipe-borne water, because Ghana Water Company is not able to remove these heavy metals from the water. They can reduce the turbidity level, but they are not able to remove heavy metals from it. And so is this woman. That is why I said we should all be worried. Annie, we should all be worried. We are becoming a poisoned nation, and we are, voluntarily just sitting down and allowing some individual to just kill all of us gradually. This is just a silent killer. We are all just dying gradually without really being noticed. And this is why this issue of illegal mining is a national disaster. It is just a catastrophe that we are all waiting on.
So you're actually confirming that some of the doctors in our laboratories collect some of these wasted fetuses or dead babies and conduct scientific research on them, and are able to connect that they are contaminated with mercury, lead, or other chemicals, which means that logically
they are
directly linked.
Yes.
Liver issues, kidney issues today is on the rise. Babies are having kidney issues. And you're wondering.
Yes, so I am not saying that it is only exposure to heavy
I'm not even
metals
saying that either.
Causes
Yeah,
this.
I'm not even saying that
causes,
yes.
But I am saying that research has proved that these, or exposure to these heavy metals, also creates this problem, also result in deformity of babies or fetus. It also leads to issues of kidney failure, liver failure, and even heart or respiratory challenges. And that is why I am saying that this issue of, I'm here in Accra, mining is in Prestia, is in Bogosu, or is in Takwa, and so I am free. Sadly, all our peri-urban areas have been converted to built environments, which means that we do not really have any peri-urban agriculture ongoing. All the food, if I will not say all, but most of the food we get here in Accra are coming from these areas. And analysis or random sampling, like that journalist who was just curious and wanted to know, if you go to the market and you buy food, what is the level of these contaminants? And just did a sample and brought to the laboratory. Shows that almost all for lead. And mercury showed in cassava. Contombre also expressed some of these. Contombre, that takes a very short period, to grow. Also, showed level or high level of these contaminants. And that is why we are all worried, because when you are eating, it's like, what am I eating?
So
I had that funny experience. This is just off record, where I attended a funeral somewhere within that region, and I ate at a funeral. After eating, I was worried. I ate, and probably the food I chose, because I ate fufu, and cassava are heavy feeders, which means that they take a lot of nutrients. So if you are doing analysis, they tend to accumulate more of any contaminants around. So I'm like, so I have eaten fufu and probably have taken in more metals. More metals. So, it's like each day you are eating, that's what comes to mind. So I'm so scared to eat vegetables.
When you go into the areas like Easton, Brongahafo, Ashanti, those areas, that you get healthy food to eat, cassava, plantain, whatever it is, because they actually grow those foodstuffs. It has gotten to a point where when you're eating those things, you're eating poison. Because this is just a confirmation of a report that has been done by a professional, whatever, a student. And just go to the market and buy sample foods and then take it to the lab. Just like I'll go to the market and buy anything. And research conducted on it shows that it has heavy metals. So all those foodstuffs that are also being imported from those areas to Accra
I mean, we get our food from those places.
Yes.
That is the reality. We get our food
we don't
from.
really grow anything much here in Accra.
No, that's why I'm saying that, look, people who think they are very far from this problem
And the
are
way I like
deceiving
fufu.
themselves.
I can eat fufu morning, afternoon, like I can eat fufu.
You know, there are a few times when I go to the market and I'm saying, hey, now when the women will tell me that when they think I'm saying, oh, where they don't mention some.
No, I like.
When they are lying. You know, because yes, they are all aware about this. So they will assure you that, oh, as for me body and feet, I say. And feet say, and I say me punchy and feet where they don't mention some communities how they say. So that is where we have reached as a country. So you have food in a plate and all you are doing is just gradually just killing yourself by consuming this. You know, even our vegetables. At a point, I did a lot of research on pesticide residues and the implication and blah, blah, blah. And, you know, so at a point, I stopped eating salad. I don't eat vegetables. Because, again, research shows that there are a lot of pesticide residues on our vegetables. And these are worries. So it's like, you who does the research, you get to know, and it's like, hey, this I'm eating, I have to check it. Or you reduce the number of times you eat this. But if you avoid this and you eat this, here we are confronted with another.
What is the effect of reducing the number of times of eating? For example, contomere is one of the healthiest things we think, or healthiest foodstuffs, vegetables we think we should eat, that we encourage people to eat. So if contomere is contaminated, what should we go and eat? Obviously, garden eggs is equally contaminated.
Exactly. So that's why I'm saying that nobody will escape this. Nobody. It's like you have a group of people in a conference room and you have released gas in the room. And then you think that because you are the one who released the gas, though you are still inside, you will escape. You will not escape. Everybody will die. That is where we are. I mean, some people, naturally, their immune system are strong and are able to resist.
So I've seen this 2024. Let me just read it. On City FM, Galamsey pollutants linked to birth defects and reproductive issues, pathology, pathologist warns. So a pathologist, a researcher at Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, Professor Dr. Paul Osei-Sampane, that is the same person I'm talking about, has warned about the devastating impact of illegal mining, also known as galamsey, on child development. So according to him, galamsey has caused child deformity during birth, affecting both the mother and the father's reproductive health. And speaking on Channel O, Dr. Sampane actually explained that heavy metals released by galamsey can enter the body through contaminated food, water, or air. Now, he emphasized that these pollutants could accumulate in the body and affect the mother's ovaries or the father's semen, potentially impacting the formation of fetus. So it's not just taking energy drink or whatever that can finish you. But now our own foodstuffs were growing.
Your potency is affected as well. They said sometimes the semen, they swimming, their tails are off, they are not able to swim to fertilize the egg, and all kind of. Sometimes I don't know whether it's.
Please give me a picture of a sperm. A picture of a sperm.
Now, so look at this fish, for example.
So this fish,
women may go, fishermen may go and harvest this, then the fishmongers, smoke this and send to the market. And then you buy it, you are enjoying it with your fufu. You feel so good that you are eating protein. All you are taking in is heavy metals.
Give me a picture of a sperm. Lara too is in the house. Good morning.
How would you mention my name after sperm?
What? Well, why would I mention your name?
Lara too is in the house. What mischief is this?
Because I said sperm.
Yes,
and I said Lara too.
Early morning like this. Hey,
but sperm is sperm.
Oh, no, I'm not arguing with you.
Okay.
No, I think all she wants to do is like sperms. The spermatozoa have tails. I think the scientists.
Kiki, can you give me a picture of a sperm? Or because you're a man, you don't want to give. Okay, that's a sperm. So you're saying that
So they have
effects.
tail.
Okay,
the
when you
tail
finish,
is supposed to help
Kiki,
them
give me
to swim.
a sperm without a tail. So this is a full sperm, a healthy sperm.
Yes.
This is how it should look like.
Yes.
The head and the tail.
Yes.
Okay, if you can find us another picture of a sperm without a tail, is that able to fertilize a sperm without a tail? Can that fertilize?
The sperm without a tail. So what happens is that it can't swim.
It can't swim.
It will just be
playing
dancing
around.
around. But it cannot swim to go and fertilize it.
Prof, the way you say it.
So it just
It will
jumps
dance
around. But it cannot swim because it's supposed to meet the egg. But here is it. I mean, what is supposed to enable it to move has been taken off. So that's where you have men, they are producing sperm, but they can't give birth. You see, the public should not let it not look like men who are not able to give birth is because they are exposed to these heavy metals or these pollutants. No, there are a number of factors.
But this is also another causative factor. Now, I'm thinking of the men, especially our young men. Most of the men in the Galamsey sites are young.
Yeah.
Fairly, I think, I don't know, I can't give but they're all very young, energetic 20s, in fact, some 15, even children.
Yeah.
So if from children, the generation of our children, kids, from 5 years, their mothers are there, their fathers are there, 20, 30, 40, 50. They're all in this Galamsey side. We're looking at the future, which you have said that there's also the future effects. That is likely to happen. So we have men who stand at a risk of not being able to, make babies or fertilize eggs. So mothers or their wives will not be able to give birth. Now, should you also give birth, you stand a risk
of having
babies with deformities.
Yes.
So we can imagine. I'm just trying to, be this graphic, just to paint how the future really looks like.
Yeah. And I keep on saying that, look, when you look at our hospital bills, I mean, when you go to institutions that take care of their employees, they bring their bill, it's so huge. So if we are exposing ourselves to these pollutants, we are just adding onto our bills. What that means is that we now spend a lot of productive hours either at hospitals or on sick beds, or you are not well, and so your productivity naturally would go down. And these are the aftermath or after effects of exposure to these contaminants. And we are talking about generation. This is maybe about 3 or 4 generations. So our generation, our parent generation, and then our grandparents, generation. So our children and children's children are going to, because there's some level of exposure of these. So there are people, maybe my age, well, not my age, but other generation below us, who are still at the productive age or productive, level, and would be affected. Their children, because their children either have been exposed through the placenta, but still withstood that pressure because either naturally their body mechanism have been able to withstand, because we all do not have the same ability to fight the same disease. There are some people whose immunity is so strong and are able to withstand some of these exposure, but others are not. So their immunity have fought it, but it does not mean that they are not exposed to it. It may be there, but later on would express, in their lifetime.
Okay.
And that is what we are talking
just in
about.
case you just joined us, what we're discussing is Galamsey, actually. It's Galamsey and is the effects of Galamsey. That's why you're seeing all those scientific things on the screen. And I chose to, engage Prof a bit more because she heads the IESS, that's the Institute for Environment and Sanitation of the University of Ghana. They have done, they did the examination on the samples of foodstuffs that was brought to the laboratory. and they came out with the result that it contained lead and other heavy metals, which obviously consumed in a higher proportions above the one.
Yes, for health risk.
For health risk.
At what level do we say you are at risk?
You are at risk.
When it's above 1.
Okay.
Yes, and this one was far above.
Thousands percentage above
yes.
the allowable limits of the global standards. Okay, so Laratu Musasaka is here. Laratu, I'm sure you were listening in on your way.
Oh, yes. And
you're welcome.
I wish that we had been having this conversation. Good morning to our viewers. Good morning to Prof. It's been a while.
Yeah.
Good to see you.
Good to see you.
I wish we had been having these conversations the way we are having it this morning, before now. Interestingly, someone sent me a video of a past show, you and I having a banter because I said Galamsey was supposed to be fought collectively and not just left at the doorstep of government. You disagreed strongly.
Can you send me the video?
And I'll send it to you.
Oh, send it to me now. I'll let the
at
team
every
play.
statement I made, all you're interested in is leadership.
I have not.
All
I have
you're
not changed
interested
my
in
position.
is what government is doing.
I have not changed my position.
But what Prof has said, I mean, it's fantastic to do a follow-up on these researchers. But Prof hasn't said anything new. We know this. We know this. The risk. I mean, getting up, waking up and going out alone is a risk. Our daily activities already pollute our environment. We wash our clothes with soap, we throw the water on the ground. We wash bowls, we throw refuse dumps and all that. It rains. Mechanic shops, all those rusted vehicles and all that. It rains, it washes all this residue into our water bodies and runs on our soil and all that. So there's a risk. But that is why previously I said we've gotten to a point where Galamsey has become more of a moral issue than just a health, or should I say education issue. Annie, if you take, for instance, the black and white Volta, there are research and papers to indicate the levels where mercury, it could be more, it could be low now. As at the time this work was done, the WHO accepted limit for levels of mercury in water is 1 microgram per liter. The black and white Volta has 6.4. So the risk we face can never be overemphasized. We've been fighting this thing from 1989. And if you indulge me, I'll just give you a few things that we've done from 1989 till now. In 1989, that was when the small-scale gold mining law was passed to legalize and regulate small-scale mining. As far back as 1989. 2006, Minerals and Mining Act was passed to streamline mining regulations and encourage foreign investment. Small-scale mining remained the preserve of Ghanaians. But now we are seeing more foreigners doing small-scale than Ghanaians. 2013 to 2016, we had interministerial task forces. That was the task force was set up in 2013. We've had joint military operations. We've had operations to flush out Galamseyers.
Sorry.
We've had...
I'm sorry. You said the level of mercury in the Volta?
The black and white. I think it's about 6.4.
Mercury?
Mercury. 6.4. micrograms per liter. We've had, between 2013 and 2016, we had a ban on the use of excavators in rivers and forest reserves. 2017 to 2020. In 2017, there was a ban on small-scale mining with a 6-month moratorium for regulation and training. That was 2017. We had Operation Vanguard in 2017. We have a multilateral mining integrated project, a 5-year plan to formalize small-scale mining with sustainable practices. Introduction of community mining schemes, drone surveillance and Galam Stop software. 2021 to 2022, Operation Halt. 2022, there was the introduction of a river guard program to protect water bodies through collaboration with local communities. That was also when the LI 2462 came into being. 2023 to 2024, we had the new Galamsey Offenders Register proposed. I don't know how far this government has gone with it. Reclassifying of Galamsey as a national security threat came up. Implementation of mine cadastre system to digitize concession data came up. Strengthening enforcement of Minerals and Mining Amendment Act 2019. Introducing harsher sanctions for illegal mining, including imprisonment and asset confiscation. Fast forward to 2025, we are still doing water guard.
All this history,
yes, we are still doing water guard.
All this history you've gone through.
Yes.
Was it a leadership decision?
Was it what?
A leadership, was it implemented by leadership?
All these things?
Yes.
They were based on stakeholder consultations.
Fine. But was it
and implementation?
But was it implemented by a leadership taking action?
Yes, I'm telling you what government interventions are. But no government does this. Like the new Galamsey Offenders Register proposal, it was proposed by stakeholders. The repeal of the LI. It was those who were championing Galamsey. Was it? I think it was led by Kenashigbe also. They were pushing for it. So it's collective.
Media journalists against.
It's collective.
Yes,
no,
but
Erastus, I'm giving this background.
Hold on.
I don't know where she's
you see, I listened to you when Prof was speaking.
I'll listen to you. I'll
you
give you a
didn't
chance.
say
I'll give
anything. I'm giving my background. Let me build my point and you come
I was interjecting Prof as well. Let me tell you what. The video the person sent you about me arguing about the leadership responsibility, I still stand my ground, and I'm never going to change that position till I die. Whatever journalists put up, led by Kenashigbe, journalists against Galamsey, I've forgotten the type, but something against Galamsey. I remember we're doing red. That day, all journalists were supposed to wear red. We did. We are only conveyor belts.
Exactly.
That sends a message and proposes our position. This is what we think. This is what we think must be done. Whatever decision government or leadership takes,
it's up to
that
them.
is up to leadership. So whether leadership is going to, I don't know, listen to us, not listen to us, stop Galamsey, not stop Galamsey, whatever decision it takes, bring blue guards, white guards, orange guards, yellow guards, it's still leadership. That's why I still stand my grounds that all that you have mentioned, it is still lies with leadership on what measures it takes. So it's a collective. Yes, everybody is worried about this. Bodies are worried. Friends of river bodies and friends of forests and friends of everybody are bringing their proposals. But it's still the head is responsible for taking a sole decision that this is what I think must be done, and that has to be done.
So maybe when I'm done, we can ask Prof what the head is doing, because she represents the government.
You go ahead.
Because I was thinking that with all that she had said,
I just wanted to explain my position on the leadership responsibility.
That's your choice. I gave this background because it's like a problem we're all trying to solve, government after government, since 1989. And it's like it keeps getting worse. That is why I'll say that it's more moral than just having government put in laws and arrest people. Galamsey became a topical issue prior to 2024 election. And the government in power now promised things. When illegal miners were being arrested on the sites, the government, the party then, and the party in power now was emphatic that we are arresting the wrong people. They are arresting the same people in government. So what was it then? Was it just to win power? Or they genuinely want to solve this problem, build on all the efforts that has been done, as I indicated, from 1989? Are they arresting the people behind it? Or they are still arresting the people caught in the act? They promised to repeal LI 2462. Now it has been amended. What informed that? They insisted on banning mining. 6 months into government, what is the way forward on it? Is it the administrator of Minerals Development Fund going into places arresting Chinese? Is that what is going to solve it? They also talked about tracking and all those things. What has happened to that? Equipment pools, cooperatives for miners, and some of these things are not fundamentally different from what the new Patriotic Party, led by Dr. Baumiande, also proposed.
In terms of Galamsey?
Yes, in terms of Galamsey. Helping, because one of the things that came up strongly, because small-scale mining is supposed to be the preserve of locals. But now we are having foreigners do it more than the locals. And one of the things that came up was capital. But we've also gotten into a society where it's become too prevalent that what you wear, what you drive, what you contribute is what makes you worthy in society, and not what your principles are. That is where we are going to. And it's affecting every aspect of our thing. Galamsey is affecting cocoa, because we are having cocoa farmers give up their land because it's quicker money than waiting to prepare the land, plant, wait for the cocoa to fruit, harvest, and all that. By the end of the day, with all the activities that we are doing, our daily activities, in addition to what we are suffering. If you grew up in a mining area, I mean, Galamsey has been with us for so long, but it wasn't done with this impunity. The previous government put in measures. Our compatriot said that is not the solution.
Which impunity?
Come again. Oh, yes. But when Galamsey started, what I knew growing up in a mining area was basically what they used to call annuance. So when the legal miners or the big concessions, the residue from what they mine, then they use pickaxes and shovels, not very sophisticated chemicals, just to get the residue out of it and also make a bit out of it. But now you have people using heavy equipment and destroying forest cover. And now it's no longer just even a forest area problem. It's gone beyond the forest area. If you go to my region like the Savannah, Savannah was already dealing with charcoal burning. Savannah was already dealing with logging. And now we have Galamsey. I talk about the black and white volta. The black and white volta pass through that region. Over 70% of the indigenes there are farmers. The economy there is agrarian. Over 60% of the people there use surface water. So if we start having these issues in an already poor place, it's gone beyond just the forest zones. It's becoming a national canker. Yes, we did what we could do. Our compatriots said they had better alternatives to solve this problem and quicker. Ghanaians agreed and gave the mandate. And we are still telling stories after 6 months when we've taken issues like holidays on certificates of urgency to Parliament. I think we can do that. And I don't shy. It's a collective thing for all of us. And as citizens, we all must be involved. When you see people messing up the environment the way they shouldn't, we all need to be whistleblowers. It affects us. The air we breathe, these things dry up and get into the air. We breathe them. You may think that you have the money to buy sachet water or bottled water, or just as some people are doing that now, importing water.
When
this sachet water,
when the Galamsey,
this sachet water and bottled water, you don't even know the source of the water.
When the Galamsey
that is being bottled or put in sachets.
Professor Frimpong Boateng came out. If that report had been released under the administration of President Mahama,
if that what?
If that report,
yes,
that Professor Frimpong Boateng's report had been released under the administration of President Mahama, what do you think would have happened?
How can you ask me this question? How am I supposed to know what President Mahama
I just want your
would
opinion.
Do? I can know that.
Because you're saying that
I don't work closely
you're saying
with
that
President
this government
Mahama.
is doing nothing different.
I'm not in his administration. So
you're
how am I
saying that this
supposed to know?
government is doing nothing different.
Come again. No, so
they are giving excuses.
Educate me. What is being done in the last 6 months?
What I can
has
tell
been
you
done
is
differently
what was done in the
from
past.
what was done previously.
What was done?
Water guards is not new. I even saw a video, I stand to be corrected, of one of the water guards directing traffic. There was a video going around. I may be wrong. Maybe I saw wrong.
Directed traffic on,
yes.
on the water?
No,
or on the road?
in town.
What shows that it's a water guard?
I'm sorry, but what do you think
I think the T-shirt.
What do you think is the work?
And I said I stand to be corrected. Unless I saw wrongly.
What's the work of the water guard?
Come again.
What's the work of the water guard?
Come again.
What's the work of the water guard?
They're not supposed to be in the Galamsey
They are
zones
not supposed to be
and
there.
all
No,
those
they
places.
are not
They're
supposed
supposed to be directing
They are
traffic
not
in
supposed
town.
to be there.
Oh, okay. Educate me.
It's just mischief.
They're supposed to be directing traffic. They are supposed to be put in the pool and deployed as and when for whatever is needed.
You are not even supposed to see the water guards.
So where am I seeing one directing traffic? Or it was not a
You are
water
not
guard?
supposed to see, especially when they are in the field working. You won't see them.
Okay.
You will not see
But
them.
they are supposed to be
I will
our
not be
ears and
surprised
eyes
if one
to
of
make sure
them
that
who
people are
just
not
went to-
doing illegal
Okay,
mining.
so first of all, to start with, the president said he's putting, former president said he's putting his job on the line.
I'm surprised you are still not a
If he's-
presidential staffer
If he's unable...
with the communication ministry. Please go ahead.
That's not the point.
Why? Because an NPP person has been appointed.
Come again.
Is it because an NPP
An
person has been
NPP
appointed?
person has been appointed.
Yes.
What NPP person?
You don't know about that?
An NPP person has been
You want to be
appointed as a
you want to be
presidential
mischievous with me
staffer.
this morning.
Just be mischievous.
That's news. Tell me about it.
Is Rosemont...
And where's Gabriella?
Is Rosemont NPP?
Oh, but she left MPP.
How did she leave NPP?
She left MPP.
How did
Oh,
she leave
Anna.
NPP?
She left MPP weeks to the election. Wasn't she the one who went and ran her balls down? Something nobody, no matter your differences with your boss or your superior, never. If you aspire to also be up there, never run down your boss in such a despicable manner.
So then,
It's
so then
totally
NDC is
wrong.
even putting itself at risk, engaging her.
Come again. Oh, that's their choice. Oh, there've been people.
By your definition,
there've been people.
you
who've
never run
moved.
your boss down regardless, no
You
matter what.
don't.
You don't try it.
You don't. It's
It-
not.
it's something
It's not
you-
right,
you-
especially when you're aspiring
to
to
be-
be where they are. You don't. No matter your differences. I mean, of course, we've all had bosses we disagreed with, but you don't run them down in such a despicable manner. It's not right, especially in politics. They'll come back and haunt you, no matter what benefits you gain for it. They are temporal. There have been people who have crossed carpet to other parties. The current defense minister, Omanebo Ama was NPP and joined CJA, and now is a minister in NDC.
Yeah, but he didn't criticize his
No, he didn't do it the way it was. He went,
the way Rosemary has
went
done
to CJ and whatever. We've had, is it Mr. Kakre Semwa leave MPP to NDC. Frances SCM left NDC to MPP. So it's no news, but the way you do it is what makes the difference at the end of the day. I mean, if she's been appointed, we can only wish her well.
Prosper says that, Annie, you refer to sperm cells and not sperms, which is a general term. Okay, so I should have said sperm cells. Okay, thank you, Prosper. So, Prof, I know you want to say something, but let me also remind you. I'll take a breather when I come back. You can make some responses. Assignments. There's an assignment at the presidency, and that's the 44th ceremonial change of guards. The time is, has it started? So do you want us to cross over to the ceremony? Okay, all right. So the team will just update us as and when we can cross over to the presidency. We will do that. So we give you a feel of what's happening. There's a change of guards going on there. So at the forecourt of the Jubilee House. So just obviously something is happening there. So as and when the team will give us a green light, we'll cross over for you to understand what's going on. But for now, we'll take a break, and Prof, I'll allow you to respond when we return. We'll be back shortly.
Adi yakuma adufo ma omai obinum eye adwuma gold na banu. I didn't try say that yet. Some of us yen smuggle yen use gold no etuto mawo. Mu sa nyamanu. Sasikana ebeko shanu sano ebe create inflation ama yanina anamuamu me sure say muamu nimwom. I hope what I'm hearing is false. Sir, police, when they are looking up to some of you policemen, some of you are even partaking in this nonsense.
We have to tackle the issue of Galamsey rather seriously. Let's see how we can solve that problem, because this is a clear indication of some of the effects, yes, of Galamsey.
Yes, next. Hey, Nadia Benson,
Me didn't tum. Mr. Femi Calico, just call me cockroach. Now, Mr. Femi once now.
Hey, that's you.
Improve car.
Yeah.
Captain was key to double the action. Me did it, sasso spray. Mr. Femi sasso quell. Yeah, go to my sasso.
Come tum preko.
MGL Logistics and Supply is your trusted partner, providing seamless solutions for all your procurement needs. From sourcing products to managing imports and exports, we ensure smooth and efficient transactions every step of the way. Whether you require goods from across the globe or need assistance in exporting your products to international markets, we got you covered. General trading is at the heart of our expertise. We specialize in a wide range of products, catering to various industries and markets. As a trusted dealership in building materials, we provide high-quality products that meet the demands of our construction projects. Additionally, we act as manufacturers' representatives, connecting producers with distributors. Our expertise in logistics is the backbone of our operations. We plan and execute transportation and delivery of goods, ensuring they reach their destination on time and in optimal condition. MGO Logistics and Supply, guaranteed satisfaction.
Buy affordable service plots and lands from estate masters. Currently selling our next cottage, located at the newly proposed airport city, with a starting price of 25,000 Ghana cedis. We also have Palm Hills, located at Pangfukro in the Gomwa East District, also with a starting price of 15,000 Ghana cedis. Available also is Coastal Park in Lakpleku, which is a 15-minute drive from the Ningo Senior High School, having a starting price of 55,000 Ghana cedis. You will receive a free site plan with indenture once you successfully purchase a land from us. For any enquiries, contact the numbers provided. Estate Masters, your most preferred estate partner.
A home is more than just walls and a roof. It's the warmth of family, the assurance of security, and the joy of shared moments. Whether you're returning from abroad or seeking a new beginning, Rehoboth Havens Ayimensa is where your journey truly begins. Nestled beneath the tranquil Ebri Mountains, this gated community offers the perfect blend of modern living and natural beauty. Our 2, 3 and 4 bedroom homes are designed for family living with spacious interiors, elegant finishes, and all the comforts that make life better. From cozy living rooms for bonding to modern kitchens for culinary creativity and private gardens for peaceful reflection, every space is thoughtfully crafted. At Rehoboth Havens, your children play safely, your family grows joyfully, and your memories are built on a foundation of care and community. Starting from 675,000 Ghana cedis with flexible installment plans, your dream home is within reach because everyone deserves a place to truly call home. Rehoboth Havens, where futures are built and dreams come to life. Call us on 0553 751933 or 0206 823524 to secure your future today. Rehoboth Social Housing, your housing dream becomes reality.
Adi Yakuma Ajupo Ma Omai Obinum Aya Ejuma Gold Nebanu. I didn't try to say that yet. Some of us, young smuggle, young Sagol, no, at Tomao. Who says Anyamanu? Sasikana Ebeko Shanu Sano, about create inflation ama Yanina. And I'm Wamu. I hope what I'm hearing is false. Sir, police, when they are looking up to some of you policemen, some of you are even partaking in this nonsense. Huh? Mimba Obium. Now, I send up. Mimba.
Welcome back to the program. So that's Rollins. At the time, he was talking about how even our own people, police officers, were supporting foreigners to smuggle gold out of the country. So this business started not today. Today, Gold Board, Sami Jemfi, I think last week, gave us some updates where he had arrested about 10 Chinese Chinese men, yes, in illegal gold trade. They are in the forest, they mine the gold, and they transport it illegally. Now, we have a tip-off, and maybe the government may want to look into those areas. We're told that, okay, that's a video. We're told that now those who are mining, who are in the forest doing the illegal mining, are smuggling the gold through timber. So they will cut the logs and plant the gold bars in them. or the gold, whatever they have actually refined in their logs. So you think that they are just transporting timber and they use it to smuggle the gold out. So I'm saying it in the open. Government may want to look into it. So those are some of the items found on these Chinese men. Obviously, they are into
You think this is news to government?
Well, it's not. Because it's happened before.
Talk to regulatory agencies, even with the courier system. Some of these things are being sent in small quantities through courier systems. You should talk to NACOC, for instance. People smuggle things in
Sometimes
all
it's as if you throw
ways
your
that
hand in despair.
you cannot imagine until you encounter them.
It is.
You see, the ingenuity that people use to perpetrate crime, if we're really using that towards the development of our nation, we won't be having some of these conversations.
Yeah. Okay, so that was the bust that was done in Asenkwegwa last week. Sami Jefi, updated us. Prof, you were going to respond to some of the issues.
Yes, well, I really didn't get Lorato and her argument.
Prof.
It seems to be just around. It's like sprinkling water around. That's how I saw the whole argument. Because we are here talking about our lives, talking about a research, where somebody just brought a sample trying to find out what is in there, and if you are consuming something on a daily basis, what are you really consuming? And then she comes and is like, oh, now they try to do it. We said we'll do it better, blah, blah, blah. At least there are signs showing that this government is fighting illegal mining. You have a woman, somebody was saying that what was Hannah's business going to the forest? I mean, for me, it shows bravery. It shows that, yes, individuals are prepared to go and confront issues when we think
imagine all of us doing that.
Working. I mean, your government, I really didn't want to do this NDC NPP, but if you want to go it that way, just to say that, look, your government promised, and for that matter, the president promised to put his presidency on the line to fight illegal mining. Here was a president who said that I am prepared to put my presidency on the line to fight illegal mining. You sanction somebody to, investigate issues of allegations of some of his own appointees engaged in illegal mining. The person brings a report to show that, look, mentioned names that these people are engaged in illegal mining. If these same people are the people fighting the illegal miners, and while they themselves are engaged in it, then we cannot fight illegal mining. What did the president do? He kept the report in a fridge. He never made us aware about the content of the report until, I don't know whether it was a journalist or somebody, leaked the report where we got bits and pieces of the report. The same president, when Akunta Mining was being accused of engaging in illegality, the same president went to defend Akunta Mining. So how can we say that this same president was really genuinely fighting illegality?
And where is that government?
At least now we are seeing, Chinese nationals being arrested.
This is the first time Chinese nationals are being arrested in this country.
Shows some genuineness in fighting this issue.
When Aisha was arrested, what did we do?
Is this the first time Chinese are being arrested?
Was arrested.
Is this the first time Chinese are being arrested?
Laura, to all I am saying is
the
that
first time
sometimes it's not.
Chinese were even arrested even before President
Akufo-Addo shows that you were genuinely not fighting illegal.
So where are we now?
At least there are signs.
We saw what signs? Tell us the signs.
Some miners, people were smuggling with guns.
They're smuggling what?
Smuggling gold.
We are talking about galamsey. We are talking about smuggling gold.
At least Hannah Bisu arresting, with her team.
So what about the water guards that were trained with our money? What about the Lands and Natural Resources Minister? What about the security agencies? What about the law that the LI you promised to repeal?
NDC is just in power for 6
months. Let me ask this question.
You have been in power for 8 years.
Have we not gotten to the point where we must accept
Those are the things you should be telling us.
We have to call a state of emergency on Galamsey?
What happened to the ban you are calling for?
I have always said that there's a need to do that. You see, we cannot play politics with our lives. We have just shown where food that we eat are being contaminated. And everything shows that nobody can escape this, not even the president. Not even the president.
Unborn babies are not safe.
Exactly.
Not to think of those of us living.
It's not about politics, but we should look at the reality.
Of course.
What use does it make if we are all sick? You go to work and you know that you yourself, you know that you are not well. How productive will you be? I have talked about our hospital bills going up. Go to institutions and look at their hospital bills. It's so high. Why are we doing this to ourselves? And especially when there are thousands and millions of Ghanaians who are not benefiting directly from this activity. Why do we allow ourselves? So for me, yes, this issue of state of emergency, I think it is important that we look at it, because this is about life. This is about our existence. We cannot do politics when we are not in existence, and we cannot do politics when you are sick. In fact, you can have all the wealth in this world, but when you are sick and you are dying, everything is meaningless. And so I am of the view that as a country, as a nation, we should look at this issue of illegal money. We are just buying time. And these people who are engaged in this activity have become more hardened. Look at the number of pump action that was displayed by foreigners. This is unacceptable. And I think that as a country, the president, pardon me to go this tangent, should probably have some bilateral discussion with the Chinese government that we cannot allow there, because yes, of course, there are times because of bilateral agreement, you wouldn't want to treat a national of another country in a manner that you think can jeopardize your relationship with that country. But all they say, another country cannot just allow its citizens.
But when you have a national of a different country, you know, killing you, exactly. Not necessarily threatening your life. The person is actually murdering you. Because all these chemicals, in those days when we played the Rollins video and the Milson's video, they were not using just heavy metals like they're doing today, or in the quantities they're doing today. Today, they're killing us. So what has that got to do with in fact, Joe Wise was advising that we should use the shoot and kill policy.
Sometimes,
because
yes, you just feel as if but we cannot sit on
let's also ask ourselves, these people sit in China, right? Most of these places, most of these mining places are not even within the capitals, right? You are on a flight and someone gets into Accra and is going straight to all these villages. How do they know about these places? Who welcomes them?
We do.
You get it? So at the end of the day, it comes to all of us, like we've been saying for how long now. It's collective. Look, these water guards that are around, they can be everywhere. And now that this problem has gone beyond just the South and has become a national problem, and
okay, so now
previously it's like it's now become a national security issue. If you don't, all of us don't start blowing the whistle from our communities, holding our people. Some of these things don't even need to come to the minister sitting in Accra. The DC or the MC is there. The assemblies are there. The unit committee people are there. The assembly men and women are there. The regional ministers are there. We need to give meaning also to our local governance to solve this problem.
But at least this government, we are seeing signs that shows that genuinely this illegal mining is being fought. And I think we should all support them, because it's a national disaster. It's a national issue that we all need to come on board and then support, instead of this issue of, oh, you said you will solve it, the water is still turbid. I'm sure that if you analyze the turbidity level of the water now and compare it to 2023, 2022,
oh, that's what you have to be telling us.
Would be higher.
I told you the black water is 6.4.
It is.
Has it reduced?
I am just,
are you catching?
I am just
are you not
saying
arresting the people?
We are
were you
some
appreciative
genuineness.
of the Professor Frimpong Boate's report?
Was
are
I
the
what?
things you need to?
Were you, as a government, appreciative of that report?
No, but why was the committee put in place in the first place? And what did you say? Someone leaked it. Did you go further to...
Why did it have to be leaked?
Did you go further to ask what was being done? It was being... The issues in there were being addressed. Some of the interventions that were put in place were based on some of these things. Things went the way it shouldn't have gone.
How?
The report was...
How did things... No, I don't want you to go to very... How did things go the way...
Excavators got missing, investigations were going on, interventions were put in place, joint security task forces, this introduction of the livelihood program, right? All those interventions were put in place. So if you just want to isolate that mishap of the issues...
Professor Frimpong Boate's report was to investigate. Why it was to get to the base.
Why is
of Galamsey?
Exactly.
This livelihood program that was introduced, it was just to cater for people who have been affected. That is like the soil is there, and you're addressing the surface. The Professor Frimpong Boate's report was to deal with the problem. He was able to mention names in the report. He was able to tell us where the genesis of the problem is. That report was so good that any country who is in that problem, and the president who wants to put them...
When was Professor Frimpong Boate's report as leaked, altered? It was after he was relieved of his position as minister, right?
Oh, look at where she's now. Look at where she's now.
You go ahead. Let's build it. He altered that report, made a lot of accusations against people who also came and debunked those accusations. So you want to concentrate on that report. Not even the report per se, but the fallouts of the leakage of the report as against the interventions that were put in place to fight Galamsey. Is that what we are talking about here? So all the interventions can be washed away because the report was leaked with a lot of accusations. Did you ever take time to look at all the work that the committee did? Operation Halt, the ban on mining, the 6 months moratorium that was given for training, the interventions. And when you say that the livelihood empowerment thing was just a small thing to give, I don't think it was such a small thing to do. What problem was it? To reclaim the land and also give alternative livelihoods to these young people within the mining area so they don't go into doing
what was the result of it?
What was the success rate of it? That is something we can change. It's an institution that is...
So I need a success rate. What was the success rate?
You can't be asking me the success rate when you didn't
tell you that I was going to.
I don't...
I told you we were going to talk about Galamsey.
You go.
You see, all what she's saying is...
The point is, I have also always maintained, and I repeat this, this has become more moral than even the technical issues that we are dealing with. But the other thing is, I've also maintained that it's a collective responsibility. All of us as citizens should be able to draw attention of authority to whatever is being done in there. But my point to Prof, as someone representing government on this set today, if I tell you that prior to our discussion here, mercury levels in the black and white water was said to be about 6.4 micrograms per liter against the WHO's 1 microgram per liter. Prof should be telling me that that has reduced to 5 or 4 or 6 because of the interventions that are in there.
Okay.
Prof must be telling me that the water guards have done this. Prof must be telling me that the LI 2462.
Do you know how long it took for this contamination to reach
have amended?
Do you know how long it took for this contamination level to reach where it is today?
No matter how small we know that. Why did intervention start changing?
No.
Right? Why did we move to trying to get technology to deal with these things? Why were we having discussions on trying to find capital for these small-scale miners so they don't rely on foreigners for capital?
Okay,
right.
so Laura,
but we did all these things. Ghanaians said, what the NDC is putting up to us are better and sound better and can solve the problem better. So they voted for you. So that is what I'm asking of you, not to make it MPP and NDC.
Okay,
I'll be the last person to politicize health, education, and our social issues.
I think you are getting things
wrong.
You are getting
Prof,
things
you've been saying I'm getting things wrong.
Yes, why? Because, you know, she's talking, she's saying that I should be telling us that mercury level in the white water was 6.
You are the one now getting it wrong.
I should be telling that it has reduced. Now, these are contaminants that we do not, it does not easily break down overnight. It takes a very long time. That is why we are referring to them as heavy metals. When they get in there, they stay in there for a very long time. They do not degrade. So the fact that you have kept it there, it is now 6.
If you knew this before
when
election.
we come,
sorry,
you knew this before
you said
election.
metals don't degrade.
It's not something.
Do we have any?
You knew this throughout the campaign period.
That it can be extracted from.
Yes, there are
the
so
system,
many.
The
Yes,
soil,
so that is why.
the water.
Yes, that is why I keep on saying that. Yes, we are talking about we need to remediate, or we need to reclaim our land. It is not just about covering pits and then planting trees and that is all. If you do that, yes, you have solved some problem by covering pits, but you have not really removed the metals.
Do we have trees that extract metals of this nature from the soil?
Yes, there are some plants that bioremediate or they absorb. They are called hyperaccumulators. Yes. They are hyperaccumulators. They accumulate these pollutants from the soil. And I keep on saying that it is not just enough to even plant hyperaccumulators, but you need to consciously harvest these plants and destroy them appropriately, because if you leave them there, they just accumulate. They accumulate and they keep them in their tissue. If they died, they reintroduce the contaminant back into the soil. So we need to bioremediate by planting these hyperaccumulators and then harvest these and dispose them properly before we then maybe plant trees, and then maybe farmers also start going to the field to farm. But if we just cover the pit and just plant trees, yes, the plants will grow because maybe they are hyperaccumulated.
So does the government know this?
I believe the government know.
No.
And so
you see, today we've stayed on your profession more than just being a party person. But I think, trying to move you a bit into your political terrain, you have a responsibility of sharing this knowledge.
Yes,
because we are already on our way.
I believe the minister,
and his team.
Yes, I believe the minister is engaging scientists to.
And you are not part.
And I mean, we are working on different fields, and we are depending on whether you are approached to give this service. But I believe that this is being taken care of.
But sometimes
they
you
are
are not
engaged
approached
in this because, of course, you cannot talk about heavy metals being in there, and all you do is to cover the pit.
I'm pleading with you. No, I'm doing this. I'm asking this.
You're pleading with
because I am not. I don't think that I would be happy to see us waste money in doing land reclamation and not necessarily doing the right thing and thinking that just planting trees and it will be fine. Obviously, scientifically, you're telling us that it's not just about planting trees. Yeah. It's important information that I think must be given to the appropriate institutions, either forestry.
You are pleading with Prof.
Yes,
to do
that.
that.
To reach out to them.
They are said,
Why
it's
not?
a team that
is part of the whole. She was part of the process. She should be part of the implementation.
I don't like what you are doing. I don't like what you are doing.
No, but Prof, your institute.
Ignore her. Ignore her.
I'm pleading.
I'm saying that it's a team. It's a team, and I'm saying that yes, that is actually the process to go about reclamation and then remediation of a polluted land.
Doris Esinam Afeti. She's on Facebook. She says, Annie, it's a program for Lara too alone.
Oh, come on. Oh, come on.
And then someone says, Zagasiti Vim says that I shock safe.
Yes, so of course
that
I'm sure is being done to reclaim, because of course the farmers will go back to the field. You know, we talked about cocoa farms, you know, being taken over by galamseyers. Years later, farmers will go back and cultivate cocoa on this field. And if the issue is just cover the pits and then go back and farm on it, our cocoa will start picking these heavy metals, and then EU and other European countries will start complaining of these metals in our cocoa. So definitely, I believe remediation will be done, but the most friendly remediation is the bioremediation, where you talk about phytoremediation, using plants to remediate the soil.
Okay, I'll take a short break. But when I come back, we'll touch on Ablekuma North, now going very political. Ablekuma North is coming up on the 11th of this month, that's July. The Electoral Commission says it's going to rerun 9 constituencies of that particular, 9 polling stations of that constituency. We'll be back and discuss it.
I'm here at Mycom JA Limited to show you the Promethean Active Panel, the ultimate tool for corporate institutions, hospitals, schools, and your home. With it, crystal clear 4K display and an unbreakable screen with an ultra responsive touch technology. This isn't just a screen, it's a game changer. For corporate institutions and in schools, this active panel can be used for Zoom meetings and PowerPoint presentation. And your homes are not left behind. You can use it to watch all your favorite programs by just connecting to a Fire Stick, and you can get access to channels like Netflix and Amazon, and voila, you are in there. At Mycom JA Limited, we provide you with the best quality products from the United States of America with 1-year warranty. You can get an
Ebusiafo ye mama kwaba eba Children's Palace. Nkwala nyema nyina fie enyi. Yonkwala ntade mani mema nyina ntare nyina wase. Yonkwala shoes, yonkwala duane, yonkwala wipes, yonkwala diapers, yonkwala toys, baby coat. In fact, bibia opama umanyina obenye biwa ase.
Located at East Legon Hills, Nana Chrome KFC. Contact us on 059 6377 172. Children's Palace. Happy children, happy fashion. See you soon. Bye bye.
Wabedum time aso. Hey, J. Watch it, na learning. Missy, watch and learn. Makwaya mabesisia. Abozege. Akache say no ya konate and the more drink woman. Hey. But I didn't mean. Oh, sorry. She knew her old days. Eji. Dabio, baby wom. Ready. Hey, baby wom. Uncle. Ah, Eji. I'll cause some discomfort.
Uncle,
sorry, well, uncle, where would the dad? Why your funeral? At to phone for Aerofield Trading. Sorry, it killed them all.
No mum share Nanda Daya was mosquito call Esudu Womunumu. Na say spray with them musa. Chaisima a dronum and sana ko dynamo.
And Kratoi FDA Ajatum.
In my line of work, a confident smile is everything. Kale Charcoal Toothpaste keeps me on top of my game and ensures my smile is always radiant and bright.
With the tiring nature of my job, we spend several hours under the scorching sun. To keep our teeth white and our breath fresh all the time, we use none other than Kale Charcoal Toothpaste. Kale Charcoal Toothpaste. You're on a Kessie and in a kit one.
Samayo Kendini, a who be here, Semetra Sapapadia to Amame Manfo, Kale Charcoal's natural ingredients, and a bomb is several buying, a man is swing, Nesasu Mama Hoto so a will beg you.
Kale Charcoal Toothpaste. Choose Kale Charcoal Toothpaste for anti-cavity, whiter teeth, and fresher breath all day. Available in 80 gram and 150 gram. Grab yours today.
Kale, happy smile. This advert is FDA approved.
Buy affordable service plots and lands from estate masters. Currently selling our next cottage, located at the newly proposed airport city, with a starting price of 25,000 Ghana cedis. We also have Palm Hills, located at Panfukro in the Gomwa East District, also with a starting price of 15,000 Ghana cedis. Available also is Coastal Park in Lakpleku, which is a 15-minute drive from the Ningo Senior High School, having a starting price of 55,000 Ghana cedis. You will receive a free site plan with indenture once you successfully purchase a land from us. For any enquiries, contact the numbers provided. Estate Masters, your most preferred estate partner.
Welcome back to the program. It's Good Morning Ghana, and I still have Professor Benedicta Yaya Fosumensa with us, and also Larata Musasaka with us. So we'll get into Ablik Manol, but Prof, you've launched 24-hour economy, your biggest policy, the one that was the loudest that carried your campaign. It's now officially launched. I know that some institutions had already given us a heads up that they were implementing certain sectors of their institutions. DVLA is one of them, the Foreign Ministry, the ports as well. Yeah, but now it's officially launched. What should we expect?
Yes, so we are going to see some of these institutions in full swing in terms of implementing the policy. So you have people working throughout the day. And also, we are going to see a reduction in the pressure that we see. Most often, you go to passport office, there are a lot of people in queues, waiting to be attended to, go to the port, people waiting long hours to be served. Once this policy rolls out, we are going to see a reduction in that. But then the policy is not just about serving people, but also opportunity for our young men and women who are looking for jobs. So there will be a lot of employment, because now you need more hands, to turn things around. We are going to see an increase in productivity. And then also within the security sector, of course, we are going to see a lot of recruitment and employment, because you need security agencies to provide security, especially at night. So generally, we would see an improvement in the economy, because there will be a turnaround, more people will be employed, and so more people are going to pay income tax, and that would be used for development. So it's not just a policy, but it is a game changer. It's a way of reducing unemployment and also help to boost productivity, especially within the agricultural sector, where we talk about processing. So issues of processors would now have more hands being able, to carry out this process throughout the year. This is a government initiative, and so government is willing, and they've already made some commitment of about $300 to $400 million to start the process and to also give incentives to institutions and organizations or companies that will want to roll out to the policy.
How about the private sector? Because
the private sector, yes, it's going to really, the whole policy is going to thrive on the private sector. So it's not like the policy is targeting at government sector, but also the private sector, because the government intend to give incentives to businessmen, to companies that sign on to this. And we are saying that you would have some reduction in terms of electricity tariffs. So there will be hours that when hours that electricity is not being used much, if you are using it, you will pay less per kilowatt of energy. And then also other incentives in terms of even some loans to enable you expand your business, that you can take more people, to be able to generate more income and also employ more people. So the whole thing is to solve, it's more like killing killing two birds with one stone, because government or this whole policy will create jobs for people who are looking for jobs. Aside that, it will also help to increase government income, because these individuals, as they work, they are being taxed in terms of income tax. So it's also going to expand the economy. And then also we will see a lot of relief in terms of the economy in general.
So Laura, to Prosper says that, Annie, please say, Prosper Shikwe, please say a very good morning to Professor Benedicta Ayera Fusmensa for me. She was a very nice person. We had some very good discussions at the Legon Hospital 2 weeks ago. And please don't forget to say hi to Lara, to my good friend, as always, the late Lara too.
Oh, come on. I'm
next time she comes to the program late and interrupts and interjects, like the way she did today, I'll tell Richard Ahangba to change her. Hey. Annie, I heard something ridiculously worrying yesterday, that people are angry with His Excellency JM because he's moving too fast and might be disintegrate. I thought I was going to read something else. might disintegrate the APP. The NDC government needs to be solid opposition, need to be a solid opposition in order to rule better. Prosper, thank you for the interesting message. But this also said, it has become increasingly clear that the President John Mahama's track record in the fight against Galamsey has been nothing short of abysmal. Now, there is no genuine commitment to address the issue, and the reality is that key figures with former President John Dramani Mahama are themselves deeply involved in these illegal activities. You didn't mention names, but that alone explains the lack of political will and weak appetite to confront the problem head on. Now, it's completely immaterial to keep blaming the previous administration, since John Mahama, while campaigning, confidently told Ghanaians that he had all the solutions to the Galamsey menace. And that was truly the case. We should be seeing decisive action, not excuses. Blame this time. It's time we hold leaders accountable for their own promises rather than allow them to hide behind blame and blame others for their failures. MD from Seshiri also sent that in. Okay, we'll cross over to the presidency soon. But Laura too.
Yes.
Let me say hi to Prosper.
Prosper, so you agree with Prosper that I'm always late.
Okay.
And today in particular, you agreed and knew I'll be late.
I actually agree with him because you're usually late.
That's unfair, honey.
It's true, but you usually come late. You always come to meet your guests on set. Or you've forgotten that you always come and you are looking at us from the doorway.
Because we
I can almost, imagine the picture.
Here and you run adverts and play videos and all
the show
that.
Starts at 7 now.
Time is of the
essence.
Yes.
Time is of the essence.
Yes.
That's the late Lara.
But today you knew I was going to be late. You knew I wasn't supposed to be here.
Huh?
You knew why are you pretending?
I'm
you
not
didn't
pretending.
know I was going to come in late. Anyway, let's
I
go
thought
on.
you would change your mind.
Change my mind
and
about
come early.
And come early. There was no way I could come early.
Okay.
I had other commitment.
Okay. Ablikuma North.
Are we talking about Ablikuma North or 24
I want you to
hour
address
economy?
Ablikuma North.
That's interesting.
Or you want to say something about what?
No, I mean 24-hour economy. I mean I've maintained that anything that would change or reduce unemployment, build our industrialization, is something that must be encouraged. But looking at the document that has come out, until Saturday I had seen the full version, which was about 268 or so pages. And I was wondering, in all this, we all agree that no president comes into power with their own money to fix anything. They use taxpayers' money. I was wondering, in all that has been done, where was 1D1F placed? Because taxpayers' money has been committed to it. And that was also fundamentally to build on industrialization and also create jobs. So it would be important to know where it is placed, especially in the what? Is it Make 24? There are some 8 thematic areas that it has been put in. But good initiative, but funding. And especially when you have an initiative that private sector has to lead, you also need to be we're told that it was what, 133. Now it looks from the document, it looks like there's a 122 that will come with some 25% of tax, whatever, rebate. But we should also know that the average business person or private person doesn't necessarily take decisions, I mean, for lack of a better expression, in the interest of the public. That's the core mandate of government. So if you're going to because if you're going to give the person 25% tax cut or 50% tax cut, they will take a business decision. In the long term, how does it add on to their expansion? How does it add up to their profit and all that? So all these things need to be covered. But I think they need to also be further engagement, especially with academia and these private sector people break it down. Someone was making a suggestion on Monday about getting, because one of the concerns too is having locally owned, local content, Ghanaian owned businesses, because most of the big businesses that can do some of these things are foreign owned. So some of these things really need to be looked at. But anything that will build and reduce unemployment, especially for people like me from poor places, is something that we must encourage. Going to Ablekuma North, I'm still wondering why the EC would take such a decision. And we in the MPP haven't minced words expressing our disagreement. And we've given indication we are going to seek redress like we do as a responsible political party. We're not going to be shouting all over the place or burning ties at the EC. We'll go to the court where we all seek for justice when we feel something is wrong. Because if you come out of an election, there were four or five constituencies that had issues. They've all been declared. Ablekuma West from the Ablekuma North from the beginning had 62 polling stations with issues. I mean, the first time they dealt with about 25 of them, then dealt with another 17, dealt with another 4, and there was an outstanding 3. So how did that 3 end up becoming 19? I think that is a decision that doesn't really sit well with us, because it's strange. It's strange. You've been given the security, and the deputy commissioner said same at Parliament. And once you go into Parliament, you're speaking to the general Ghanaian populace, because no matter where I belong, whether I belong to a party or I don't belong to a party, I have a representative in the House. Whichever side the person sits, they represent the constituency and all that. And that was the same thing was said in Parliament. So why the sudden U-turn? This kind of U-turn that can cause an accident, I don't think it's something that we should encourage, you know. So it's a terrible decision. No, not an accident. An accident, I mean, in our electoral process. I mean, you don't 3. How does 3 become 19?
19, yeah.
How does that even add up? From
So,
62,
you
dealt
so,
with 59.
so from when the EC,
it was 62,
from when the
dealt
EC
with
went to
69,
Parliament,
59, it was left with 3 and it's suddenly 19.
Yeah.
How?
So from when this EC went to Parliament, and then when it declared that we're going to rerun 19 polling stations, has the executive or leadership of the NPP reached out to the EC?
Yes,
I'm not
and
sure.
they said
I'm not sure IPAC meeting has happened.
No, the party wrote to the EC asking on the progress on, and they said, well, I've forgotten what they said actually, but in relation to the fact that they were yet to take a decision on it or something like that. So we just need to refer
whether
to
we're
that
doing a rerun for real or we're not.
You know.
So they actually all of us
an explanation because it doesn't add up. 3 jumps to 19. It doesn't.
And worst of it all, there's even one of the 3 that was mentioned in Parliament that's not in the 19. Okay, so what has been done that, all right.
But we've made indications. We have to seek a proper interpretation.
Yeah.
Because it's the same court that gave the order that they should be given security to finish the coalition. So what changed?
Okay.
Well, I think it's in order. In fact, I had actually wished they ran the entire constituency. I really don't know what Laura too is talking about, because when you follow up Blakuma North issue, they indicated that they didn't even have pink sheets. So if you don't have pink sheet, on what basis are you collating results?
The EC?
So, yes, EC didn't have pink sheets. On what basis were they collating the results? I really wondered why they had to delay for 6 months into a new government without a representative. So it's a welcoming news. But I had actually wished they had run the entire constituency. But nevertheless, if MPP felt they had won, I mean, the same people are in the constituency. And I'm sure if the same people who voted, they are still there and they would go.
But you're talking about cost to the taxpayer.
Cost. The Electoral Commission engaged in activities that were more of cost to the taxpayer than just.
It was a process to the election.
I remember which year is it? 2020, when COVID was in full swing. They said they were throwing away the entire database that was done in 2016 or so, and they were going to collect a new database. There were a lot of people who talked about the risks they are exposing us to and also the cost, and they went ahead and still did it. So one constituency, in fact, in this case, not even the entire constituency, you cannot even talk about cost. And so I think it's a laudable idea. I know some parties are already on the ground doing campaign, and so at the end of the day, we just look forward to a very peaceful election.
Are you putting pressure on the Electoral Commission? Are you threatening the Electoral Commission?
Why should we threaten the Electoral Commission? When Electoral Commission even carried out a lot of illegality, nobody threatened the Electoral Commission. Electoral Commission was just being scared by her own shadow, by allowing military men to follow her, protecting her because she knew she was engaged in illegality. SAR was a typical example of what happened, and a number of cases that the Electoral Commission watched on, because at that time NPP was in power and she was being backed by NPP. So why would, at that time, even we did not threaten her, why would we threaten her when we have a super majority in Parliament?
Yeah, that's because you have power now.
Yes, so if she's saying that she's been threatened, that's why she's going for a rerun. I think that's just a
no,
false,
she didn't say that. It was the minority leader, Fenyamakin,
who think that she's probably
suspected that
to power.
after the chairman of the party spoke, looks like the EC is speaking in a different direction, that they should be removed from office.
You see, this whole thing of MPP gimmick, it's whether or not just a few months ago hailing the Electoral Commission as the best electoral commissioner ever since the Fourth Republic. So why all of a sudden they're accusing her of a wrongdoing? I think there are points in time people need to stand by the truth. You do not have results. How do you declare election? They themselves attested to it that they didn't have pink sheets. So it's just fair to have run the entire election. And so if they have agreed to run 19 polling stations, I think that's in order. And I know both political parties would move to the ground to do campaign for their respective candidates. And so Laura, instead of maybe crying foul and say we are going to court, we are going to court.
Did you follow the coalition after the election?
The ground and
there were 62 polling stations that had issues. They dealt with 59. NDC, MPP, EC dealt with it, and it was left with 3.
You see,
so what you're saying doesn't really
people like, oh, this is what we want, so do it for us.
When you say was dealt with, it means that they found a solution. But obviously, both parties were claiming winning.
Yes.
So it was not dealt with.
The results they had from all that was done, we were leading about, I think, a little over 400 votes.
And the NDC was what?
No, we're leading them. It was in the range of 34,000 and 35,000. From what was done, the coalition wasn't done by just EC or the EC and MPP. It was all the parties involved with the candidates there.
So you see, what I'm saying is that the same people who voted for them, and they were 400 ahead of NPP.
And that was the same report the deputy commissioner gave to Parliament. So all that details, what happened to it? It has suddenly become 19.
So is it the 19 you are against, or is the
Rerun? Why Rerun? So what has been done? What is the problem with the 3 that were outstanding? What is the issue? What are you trying to cure? What happened with the 3?
Okay.
What are you trying to cure by running 19 polling stations?
So Donna getting here on Good Morning Ghana. Ladies, thank you so much for making time with me this morning. And I'll see you again on Good Afternoon Ghana. But for now, we'll wrap up here. We'll bring you the details of what will happen at the presidency in terms of the change of guards. And you see who is doing or taking over what. We're back tomorrow with Good Morning Ghana. Thanks for watching.
Smart, bold, unapologetic. This is Annie Ampafo. The voice of reason, a force of media. She's the one Ghana turns to every Monday morning for the headlines that matter and the conversations that shape all of us.
And on the basis of Article 34, that's the Directive Principles of State Policy, we meet here again this morning, and you're welcome to Good Morning Ghana.
And when the afternoon rolls in, she's back, cutting through the noise, asking the tough questions, and bringing clarity to the issues that matter.
A committee to investigate containers carrying ECG cables that are meant for Ghanaians or meant to provide lights for the good people of Ghana.
In the morning, in the afternoon, Annie Ampafo isn't just reporting the news. She's shaping the conversations that shape all of us. Annie Ampafo, smart, fearless, unmatched, only on Metro TV.
Fifra ye free nyina ye de obedientia de ya fugia ne aduane saasro pintin bi aseda ome de ye di koye mu ne de awie nyina na makuafo modem mo so won fifre su ne nya bidio nanso bate aseman Ghana mu a akuafo akoya abo pupu obo wasio na so da su kache wona sam fifre mama mu nyina nya bidie nanso mpuntudwo mu aka akiri pa ekwan ben ne befa so ama akuafo fifre ho abanfa so de aban hyehye ne dwumadi ahodo ode bre akuafo no bo wote ase feed Ghana ye den na nkokọ ketenkete so mfaso ama akuafo so ye den we inti na hyehye dwumadi esrunkwa ya to ne akuafo mo ye de bre Original TV and Metro TV so. Dwumadi beba akwanya ama mpanyimfo animde e wa ba fukaye mu akyere wadwen ye je akuafo ha no amane akogye mu aye e de afiri aban mu mpanyimfo ho. Enimi ni ehia akuafo yonko samo honto eda joada enwumre no nso kosi ne no nwotwe e Original TV so. Saa nso na da yawada enwumre no nwotwe kosi no nkono e Metro TV so. Akuafo mo Ghana akuafo abomode na yempene wo.
Ekuafomo is sponsored by ACAP Compost. ACAP Compost comes in 3 varieties: ACAP Compost Compost X, ACAP Compost Plus.
Everything in the world revolves around science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Enough of classroom memorization. Science must be practical. That is why the Quiz Talk is bringing Ghana's first ever national STEM quiz. This program will spark the students' interest in STEM. Science, of course, is the mother of all creation. Starting from creation itself, from the plants to the animals, everything you see is about STEM careers drive modern economies. From engineering and medicine to software development and space exploration.
Engineering combines both science and technology to solve various problems around our society. For example, the roads we use, the cars we drive, and the airplanes we use to transport ourselves from one country to the other. What can you do to solve human problems? Come, join us on Quiz Talk, coming soon.
So come to Quiz Talk and then demonstrate your skills and help us with the STEM education.
Back in the day, tune in radio from morning, and you don't want to miss out because anybody who comes on is massive.
Back in the day on Metro TV, Mr. BKD.